Professor Blaxland, when I know you've spent a lot of time in Washington recently, what's the mood like? Is there increasing pressure on the Biden administration to harden up its language in support of the Palestinians? I know many on the left in the United States are saying that they've got to call for a ceasefire. They're calling for a humanitarian pause, not a ceasefire. Where does the political equilibrium sit right now in the US?
Well, you know, I'm as privy to that as you are, Kieran, but I see what I see on the streets. I live right near the capital now, and I share a cafe with Palestinian protesters. That's the new reality. Much like in Australian capital cities, there is enormous political protest happening, a lot of momentum happening for the government, our government, the government in the United States to change its tune. And I think this is what Anthony Blinken is responding to, that kind of very public pressure. It's seen on CNN, it's on CBS and Fox, it's getting a lot of coverage. So that's I think, what is driving this change. And of course, this is what's, in terms of what's the options for the Netanyahu government. We know, of course, that like Golda Meir, her legacy prior to the 1973 Yom Kippur War is doesn't count anymore. It's what happens now, and he's in a position where he is politically very, very vulnerable unless he acts to find some military resolution, but also go beyond that to some political one. And here I think, Kieran, there's a point really worth making. You know, we don't talk about Egypt very much in this equation, but we forget that until 1967, what we call Palestinian Gaza was actually Egypt. It was Egyptian territory. So I think there's a creative, imaginative, political partial solution, if not a complete one, that is, involves Israel dealing with Egypt on the issue of Gaza. Egypt has very carefully been controlling its border with Gaza, and I think that's something that really has to be discussed. And the rest of the Muslim world, the rest of the Arab world, is looking on. Very interesting, the dynamics there. The elites really pretty happy to do a deal with a transactional arrangement with Israel, but the people in the streets, that's really making it difficult for those elites that rule many of these states that aren't terribly democratic, let's not forget, making it very difficult for them to pursue that policy. So upending the strategy of the United States, upending Israel's attempts at turning battlefields into marketplaces, and that's not looking likely to change anytime soon.
Citizen power being shown across various states and leaders having to grapple with it. Professor Blaxland, good to see you back from the United States. We'll see you soon.